All right, Shalom Aleichem Rabotai. Welcome to our Wednesday class, Yalkut Yosef. We are up to a topic under the category of tefillah. It's tefillat Amidah, but one of the things that we discuss in Amidah is a tefillah called Tashlumim, when you basically are completing a tefillah that you missed. So today we'll dive into that, Be'ezrat Hashem. Let's say someone, for some reason, soon we'll see the reasons, but for some reason, wasn't able to pray mincha. One of the examples we gave in the past was someone was drunk. We learned that the Yalkut Yosef says that it's better to not pray while you're drunk, talking about a serious, amount that you're not able to focus. You can't stand in front of the king in a proper way. Yakomu Baruch Haba. And in that level, you should miss the tefillah, and let's say it was mincha, pray 12 weeks. What are you doing? You're completing the tefillah that you missed. So this is the topic of the day. How do you do it? What are the terms? And is there anything required from you when you do that? Okay, so the first thing that is brought up is that if, let's say, you are doing tashlumim, you can't just finish Oseh Shalom B'Momav V'Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yakol Amo Yisrael V'Imo Amen, Hashem Shfatai Tiftach. You have to wait as if someone is walking for amot. For amot is like 2 meters, 6, 7 feet, meaning 3, 4 seconds. Wait to show that there is a pause between the first tefillah and the second tefillah. But Shulchan Aruch says that if you are praying, let's say in Shacharit right now, don't just wait those 4 steps, but it's better that in the morning for Shacharit, first say Ashrei Yoshvei Betecha. I guess it's a better stop. First say Ashrei Yoshvei Betecha, and then once you said Ashrei Yoshvei Betecha, then go back and say one more Amidah, and then complete your tefillah. All right? Regarding Arvit, he says that, what does he say? There's a Kaddish in Arvit? Okay, we'll get to that soon. Let's wait with Arvit. First of all, women. Now, who knows? How many, if at all, tefillot are women obligated to say every day? Are they obligated like the men? Chazaku Baruch. Nick, I see your wife is a tzaddiket. You pulled it out right away. 1 tefillah a day. That's the minhag. A woman, is she obligated to pray? Yes. But any tefillah that she wants. So it doesn't have to be shacharit, which is very long. It's good. If she has the ability, then she should force herself to pray a tefillah that has a lot of tefillot, bakashot, like shacharit. But if she doesn't have time, she's taking care of the kids, 1 tefillah, any tefillah, covers a woman. All right? Now, you may say, Ziv, a woman is obligated to pray. We learned the rule. What's the rule that we learned? There's certain mitzvot that women are exempt on. What mitzvot? Women are exempt from mitzvot that are dependent on time. For example, lulav. For example, shofar. We always give these examples throughout the learning. So if any mitzvah that is dependent on time, woman doesn't have to do, then why is are women not exempt from tefillot? You have to pray every day, no? So it's depending on time. You can't pray it tomorrow. You can't pray it yesterday. It's the tefillah of today. So the answer that the Yosef brings is that since a woman doesn't have a specific amount of tefillot that she's obligated to pray in a certain time, which means she needs to pray 1 tefillah a day, but we don't tell her mincha from after shacharit until midnight, until sunset. We don't tell her shacharit is until midday. She has no time restrictions because she could choose any tefillah that she wants, and therefore it's not considered a mitzvat aseh she'azman gam. You may ask another question. Ziv, you said that she has to pray 1 tefillah, but is she allowed to pray more? It sounded from in between the words, like what? She is allowed. She's allowed to pray more tefillot than 1. How come we allow her to pray more tefillot? I'll give you an example why I'm asking this question. When we learned about shofar, or when we learned about lulav, if a Sephardi woman says, I'm exempt from lulav, but I want to lift up the lulav and say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu al netilat lulav, and start shaking the lulav. Chabad have a custom to do that. The Ashkenazim have a custom to do that. According to Sephardim, bracha levatala. She's not allowed to say a bracha. Why? Because you're exempt from it. So if women are exempt from tefillot, okay, they have to pray 1 a day. She prayed shacharit. Now she's coming to pray mincha. How is she allowed to say berachot? It's dependent on time, because now it's the mincha time. And seems like she's saying a bracha levatala, like with the lulav. Says the Yalkut Yosef, the answer is no. The tefillot are not like any other beracha. Beracha has a beginning and an end, but a tefillah, the Gemara says, ולוואי ויתפלל האדם כל היום כולו. I wish a person will pray all day long. Tefillot is something that you have no limit. We're going to learn that there's something called tefillat Nedava, a charity tefillah, which means Steve, let's say, prayed today, 3 tefillot perfectly, minyanim. He's not in debt. He doesn't owe any tefillah. But his heart feels like he wants to get closer to Hashem. Is he allowed to stand up now and pray a full Amidah? It's not Shecharit, not Mincha, it's just a gift. The answer is yes. We're going to see. You're allowed to add a tefillah. It's called tefillat Nedava. But there are terms. So we will dive into the terms soon to see how it can properly be done. But theoretically, a tefillah can be added. Same thing with the women. Even though they are exempt, but tefillah, it's Hashem's connection to us. Hashem loves tefillah. I heard this beautiful chidush this week. I was blown away from the Yanuka. I don't even hear of the Yanuka. The Yanuka is like a very young, maybe 34-year-old rabbi in Israel right now that...
Yes, very famous.
That all the
all the big rabbis are going to him now.
Exactly. The Gedolim are all going to get a bracha from him. He's like, he came from nowhere. He's so humble, so quiet. But once he opens his mouth, you're just blown away from the Torah, from the love of Jews that he has in his mouth. Phenomenal. So he said the beautiful thing that appears in the Talmud Yerushalmi. Talmud Yerushalmi is the green one over here. That's where we have Talmud from Bavel, the blue ones, if you see them behind me. The green ones were Talmud that were learned in Eretz Yisrael, the Torah of Eretz Yisrael from 2,000 years ago. And in the Talmud Yerushalmi, Tzeret Brachot, it says a nice example. He brings it like this. He says, if I'm walking in the street and one guy is carrying a watermelon and he has a few and he needs help. He says, do you mind, can you help me carry the watermelon? Sure. I come, I help him. Next day I pass by, hey, can you help me with the watermelon? Okay. 3-4 times after I get every day he's asking me, I was going to say, well, I want to get myself dirty with water. One, I helped him, but he's taking advantage of me. You're going to cross the street. You're going to the other side, right? Because if a person is asking you for stuff repetitively, you're like, okay, it's enough. I'm tired of it. But he says, but Hashem is exactly the opposite. No matter how many times we pray to Hashem and we ask, we have bakashot, requests, and tefillot to Hashem, Hashem wants them more and more. Yes, put them on my back. I want to carry your tefillot. I want to carry your trouble. That's the beauty of tefillah. Hashem wants our tefillot endlessly. So there's no limit. There are just certain restrictions that we'll touch soon. But the bottom line is that a woman is allowed to say the brachot of Amidah. Regarding the brachot of the tefillah before Amidah, brachot Kriyat Shema, the custom is that the Sephardi women, they don't say it b'shem u'malchut, which means they say, Baruch atah yotzer ha'meorot. All right? Baruch atah ohev amo Yisrael, and then Shema Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael, and Shema Yisrael. They don't say Hashem's name. That's the custom. Also Baruch Shama. But other than that, the tefillah itself, women are allowed to say as Mishasema. Now, what happens if a woman made a mistake in her tefillah? All right? For example, a woman decided right now that she is praying shacharit. All right? She prays shacharit. Now she goes, she says, you know what, I have to only pray one tefillah. Today I feel large with Hashem. I'm gonna do mincha. She opens the tefillah, she starts praying mincha. She finishes mincha, and she says, oh my God, I forgot Ya'aleh v'yavo, or I forgot to say v'ten talu matar livracha. What do you say? Does she have to repeat the tefillah, or is she exempt from repeating?
Exempt.
So, very good. That's what we would think, because to begin with, she was never obligated from this tefillah. She just took it upon herself. So if she made a mistake, we're going to make her repeat it. But surprisingly, the halacha is, and I'm happy you said that because that's how we learn. That's how I learned as well. That since she accepted it upon herself, even though she's not obligated, once she accepted it upon herself, now it became an obligation for that specific day, not for always. You accepted it. Now, if you messed up, you have to repeat. You have to fix the problem. All right? Where was this learned from? From the great Rabbi Harif and the Rosh, the 2 out of 3 pillars of Halakha that the Shulchan Aruch stands on, right? He stands on the Rambam, the Rif, and the Rosh. So the Rif and the Rosh both say that Tefillat Arvit for a man is not mandatory. At least back in the day, it wasn't mandatory. It was Tefillat Reshut. And since it's Tefillat Reshut, you would think that if I'm praying it, I don't have to, but if I'm already praying it, then if I made a mistake, I'll be exempt. But the halacha is no. If a man made a mistake in Tefillat Arvit, he has to repeat it. Except for what? Ya'aleh v'yavo on Rosh Chodesh. Because Ya'aleh v'yavo specifically on Tefillat Arvit, it's something that if you made that mistake, you don't have to repeat. As opposed to Shacharit and Mincha, If you miss Ya'aleh V'Yavo, you do. Anybody know why? What's the difference between the Ya'aleh V'Yavo of Arvit and Shacharit and Mincha? So
I think
why?
they didn't all know, but
Go ahead, Nick.
sorry, I think they didn't. They announced it the next day during the day, right?
Very good. What Nick is saying is exactly right. Meaning, why are we saying Ya'aleh V'Yavo? Because it's Rosh Chodesh. But back in the day, they wouldn't accept witnesses at night. So they would always announce Rosh Chodesh. The witnesses would come during the day and they would testify and they would say, okay, today's Rosh Chodesh, pray Shacharit with Ya'aleh V'Yavo. Pray Musaf today. But the Arvit, they never had it because they never do Kiddush HaChodesh at night. So if you missed Ya'aleh V'Yavo, no problem. Anyway, no one knew. How could they know that it only happened during the day? So therefore, if he misses Ya'aleh V'Yavo, it's fine. But if he missed V'ten Talu Matar in the winter, even though it's a tfilat reshut, even though it's not an obligation, he took it upon himself and he has to repeat. From there, they learned that the same thing with a woman. A woman, even though she doesn't have to pray mincha, she already prayed shacharit, she's finished with her tefillah every day. Since she took it upon herself, once she made that mistake, she has to repeat.
Also, the Barachin Nafshi is if you forget to say it, you don't have to say it, repeat it.
We're talking only about stuff that
only about Amidah.
The Amidah. Yeah, that's like one. We'll see, B'ezrat Hashem, that each bracha is very important in Amidah. It's not like other parts of Tefillah. You said it, you didn't say it, you could skip. Amidah, the order is important. Everything is important in Amidah. We'll get there, B'ezrat Hashem. All right. So, as I said before, if someone wants to pray a Nedava, Nedava means charity, a gift, right? Like as if we're giving charity, but the idea is that we're not obligated. So if we pray the Nedava to Hashem, it's allowed. There's only certain times that you're not allowed to pray Nedava, Shabbat v'Yom Tov. Why? Because Nedava was a korban, it was a sacrifice called korban Nedava. It was a gift to Hashem. Those korbanot were not allowed to be given on Shabbat and Yom Tov. Therefore, the tefillah, which is like korbanot, back in the day we had korbanot, today we have our lips. So since the lip work that we're doing now is against korbanot, there was no lip work, there was no korbanot for Nedava on Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh, therefore there's no lip work as well. So no Nedava on Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh and Yamim Tovim. Okay? But let's say it's a secular day. Tonight, Wednesday night, we finished this shiur, we were blown away, we feel like doing another shacharit for you guys. For me, it's another alvit. Okay? You know what? I want to give Hashem a gift. I start praying right now. Can I do it? The answer is yeah, but there's a turn. If there's no reason for you to do it, which means you didn't miss anything, then you have to be mechadesh something in your tefillah. You have to say something new that you usually don't say. For example, when you get to Shema Kolenu and there's an opening over there where you have an opportunity to ask for whatever. Shema Kolenu is like a gathering beracha, which you're allowed to pray for parnasah, for your children, for your wife, for your shlom bayit, for your Torah, for whatever you want. So if you're doing that tefillah, which is a gift, it cannot be like any other tefillah. The gift has to have some base. What's the base? I want to ask for something new, something that I don't usually ask for. So that's the requirement. To be honest, I've never done it, but now that we're discussing this, it's tempting. Maybe one time to do 4 tefillot today and add something, it could be a unique feeling, but it's definitely not an obligation. But if someone feels the need, he's allowed to do that. All right. Now, what happens if, let's say, I don't remember.
Dave, when you say you have to add something, meaning you have to add a bracha or something,
no, we don't add tefillah. We'll learn this, but Be'ezrat Hashem, yes, first of all, I didn't notice you joined. So let me elaborate on that a little bit. In every one of the brachot of Amidah, except for the first 3, Magen Avraham, Ata Kadosh Mechayim Metim, those 3 and 3 at the end from Modim, La'aneh Leodot, V'sim Shalom, those are set brachot. The rest of the brachot, for example, Ata Chonen La'adam Dat, we're asking for wisdom. I'm allowed to stop before I say Baruch Ata Hashem Chonen Dat. I'm allowed to stop and say, Hashem, please give me wisdom. I want to have wisdom. I want to be successful. I want to be wiser. I'm allowed to add a tefillah that has to do with that beracha. All right? Yes. When it comes to refa'enu, I can stop and ask for a lot of stuff that have to do with refuah. The beauty of Shema Kolenu is that there's no restriction. It's a gathering beracha. That's what I was saying before. You're allowed to add whatever you want. So a lot of sidurim, if you open them up, you see there's a special tefillah from the Chida. Yosef David Azulai, he puts it in the Shema Kolenu where it's like a vidui. One of the halachas of the day in Israel spoke about it. Are we allowed to add tefillot regularly in Shema Kolenu, or every day it has to be a different thing? Some hold you're not allowed to add a regular tefillah because like you're adding something steady. There's no chidush over there. Other hold and
do that, but it's not good to do that. I add these extras every time.
No. Wait for Rabbi Vadia. Baruch Hashem, we have Rabbi Vadia. Elach of the day was by Rabbi Vadia. But Rabbi Vadia concluded that we rely on the opinions that we can. Why? His proof is the Chidah. The Chidah puts in the tefillah inside Shema Kolenu. He puts a vidui. Hashem, I'm sorry I did this. I want to be better with that. It's written every day. If someone you read it the same thing. If Chidah put it in, we're going to say that it's forbidden. Of course, you're allowed to say a tefillah in Shema Kolenu, even if it's a set tefillah that you read every single day. No bracha, but you're allowed to. Steve, I see you're opening something. When you went fishing.
No, it's in the
Mashari?
I read it every day.
Yes, it is. Everything is there. Yes.
Wow.
After Shema Kolenu, it's part of it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So in Shema Ribono Shel Olam, exactly. Very good.
And then there's another one, there's another bracha on the other page before you continue.
Also in the end, you have extra brachot.
No, the Anenu is for a fast, but before Anenu,
Sorry, where am I? No, the Vi Ratzon Milefaneh.
Yeh Ratzon on top, yeah, it's
yes, there is two, yes.
It's one, but on days that you don't have Vidu, you don't say the Ribono Shel Olam, you only say this. But on days that you say Vidu, you read both.
There is an instruction. Don't say when there is no.
You see,
it's dumbed down for people like me.
I don't use it unless I go. Usually, when I come to New York, I'm using it.
Did a great job.
Yeah. So let's conclude. In Refaenu, I could ask for refuah for whoever I want. I could name names. It's all good. By the way, halacha is, as long as I did not start the next bracha, even if I said Baruch Ata Hashem Rofeh Cholei Amo Yisrael, as long as I did not start the next bracha, I'm still allowed to add tefillot now regarding Refaenu. Once I started the next bracha, done. No more. So now in Refaenu, can I ask for parnasah? The answer is no, because it doesn't have to do with that bracha. Only when you get Shema Kolenu, there's a tip that Chachamim bring down. They say, try to find out how long the Chazan is going to be praying, because if this additions that you're doing to the tefillah is going to make you miss Kadishim and make you miss the Kedusha, it's better that you do all these additions before Elokai Netzor, at the end, after you say the first Yule Ratzonim Rafi, or even after the first Elokai Netzor, depending on the opinions, because over there we are already allowed to answer Kedusha, at least partially, like we explained last week, or answer the Kaddish, the first 5 Amenim, which are the most important part. So if you're in a minyan that you have time, they do 7-8 minutes Amidah. I know I have time, I go free in Shema Kolenu, I start going all the stuff that I ever wanted. As we said, Hashem wants it. He wants that connection to hear our tefillot, our request. He's not tired of us. Every day we pray again and again, and Hashem is happy. It's not like us that we get tired of the same thing. Hashem loves it. That's the Gemara in Yerushalmi. So to answer your question, Johnny, how did we begin this? You had a question? You were asking regarding...
But that's my thing. So when you do the extra tefillah, because I always add tefillot. So for me, the extra tefillah is just extra to extra. So it's not like...
Yeah. I hear you.
Okay.
But if you are going to say another Amidah because, you feel like strong connection and you just want to do it right now, then try to add something that you don't have in your regular tefillah. Not a bracha, but in Shema Kolenu, let's say you
some thoughts that I have extra thoughts.
Yeah, help my old neighbor. I see she's struggling on a wheelchair. Give her a refuah. You never think of her now. Throw her in. Something new that wasn't there before. Just so that you... That's the idea. All right. Now, the question that we began with is if I have a doubt, if I prayed or I didn't pray mincha. Let's say I was confused. I didn't know. I didn't know. It happens. We're human beings. Now Arvit is coming, right? Wait, did I pray mincha? Did I not? What do I do? The answer is you pray mincha because you have a doubt if you prayed or not. But you make a t'nai, you make a condition. What's the condition? Hashem, if I missed mincha, let this tefillah be completing the tefillah that I missed. But Hashem, if I did not miss mincha, let this tefillah be a Nedava, let it be a gift. What's the chidush here? That in this tefillah that is a gift, I don't have to be mechadesh. I don't have to bring something new. Why? Because there's a doubt. Maybe it's an obligation. Since it might be an obligation, Yalkut Yosef says you're exempt from bringing something new to the picture. Right? Same case on Shabbat. On Shabbat, I don't remember if I prayed, let's say, I don't know how that could happen, but I don't remember if I prayed Mincha or not, and now I'm sitting in a minyan. Should I join them from Mincha? Should I not join them from Mincha? So, in that case, I do not pray again. Why? Because I can't do the Tnai. I'm not allowed to say, Hashem, if I did pray, let this be a Nedava. Why? Because what do we do not have on Shabbat? We don't have a Nedava. We don't have gifts. As I said before, the Korban, the sacrifice of the Nedava, the gift to Hashem, was never given on Shabbat and Yom Tov. So I cannot say, if I'm wrong, let this be a Nedava. No. So if I'm wrong now, I'm saying 18 berachot lebatala. So therefore, you just don't go back. You may have a question. If you do, wait with the question. Let's see the next topic, and hopefully it'll be answered. If not, it's okay. Now, Rosh Chodesh. As we learned before, in Arvit, there's no problem. If I missed it, or if I have a doubt that I missed Ya'aleh V'Yavo, anyway, you don't have to repeat. But in Shacharit and in Mincha, I definitely prayed Shacharit and Mincha. I just don't remember if I said Ya'aleh V'Yavo. I finished it. Did I say? Did I not? Was I focused? Was I not focused? We're human beings. All right? So what do? And then I'm allowed to do a Tnai Nedava. I could say, Hashem, if I was wrong, if I didn't say Ya'aleh V'Yavo, I'm obligated to repeat, so I'm repeating what I missed. And if I did say, then let this be a Nedava. Now the case that's very interesting. Shabbat, which is also Rosh Chodesh. Now, if I missed, let's say, Ya'aleh V'Yavo and Mincha Shabbat, no, I didn't miss. I have a doubt if I missed it or I didn't miss it. Usually, what do we say? We say, make a stipulation, make a Tnai, Hashem, if I missed, this will be completing, and if I didn't miss, it will be a gift. But we learned that on Shabbat there are no gifts. So you would probably say, then you don't say on Shabbat, because it may be that all these berachot are going to be levatala. What is the answer? There's a difference between if you have a doubt, if you said the whole tefillah, then if you have a doubt if you missed the Ya'aleh V'Yavo or not. Why? What's the difference? So if you have a doubt, if you said Ya'aleh V'Yavo, then in that case, the halacha is that you have to repeat. That's a requirement, all right? And regarding if I have a doubt, if I prayed or I not prayed, I'm not required to repeat. I do the stipulation because I can. So I lean on the fact that if I'm wrong, it's going to be a gift. But I'm not really obligated to repeat because I have a doubt if I prayed the whole thing. Maybe I did. But with the Ya'aleh V'Yavo, the halacha is, surprisingly, that if I don't remember if I said Ya'aleh V'Yavo, halacha is that I have to repeat. You know why? Because most likely you didn't say Ya'aleh V'Yavo if you don't remember. Meaning in tefillah, what are the odds that I didn't pray today? I pray every day. Like, why would I miss a tefillah? Ya'aleh V'Yavo, it makes sense more that I would miss it. No, people forget that it's Rosh Chodesh. So when you have it, so Allah, the dry halacha is, when you don't remember if you said Ya'aleh V'Yavo or not, you have to repeat. When I don't remember if I prayed or didn't pray, I don't have to repeat. I do when it's not Shabbat, because by repeating, I have an exit. And if I'm wrong, it's going to be a gift to Hashem. But since on Shabbat, I do not have that ability to give the gift, I would think that I don't repeat. So this is the chidush.
Ziv.
Igal.
Sorry, don't they say that you could, in the Chazan's repetition, he could have you in mind and like.
Fantastic. We'll get to that, Be'ezrat Hashem. But either he could have you in mind, or you could even say it with him. But if you have a doubt if you said it or not, then that would be a very good solution. Let the Chazan say it, and you repeat it with him.
Is that preferred over repeating the whole thing as a gift?
So listen, let's break it down. That's not the case that we're bringing here. Right now, I have no Chazan. I don't know if I prayed Mincha or not right now.
I see.
I want to know if I should pray again. Maybe, I didn't see this inside, maybe join the minyan, don't pray the Amidah, but when the Chazan is doing the Chazara, come to him and tell him, have me in mind in case I didn't pray. But as we said, it has to be a Chazan that you can trust that has in mind No Chazan naturally today has you in mind unless he's like a legit Chazan that, he learns halachot and he's aware that he has to do that. Most Chazanim are not aware that they have to have everybody in mind, as we mentioned. That could be a good solution. The thing over here is that I just want to know if I should pray again right now. Or I shouldn't pray again. Okay.
Steve, how about Birkat Hamazon with Ya'aleh V'Yavo if we forget?
Very good question. So with the Ya'aleh V'Yavo and Birkat Hamazon, well, I have to clean up some rust from those halachot. But Baruch Hashem, we have over here this beautiful siddur I have that has built-in halachot. And sometimes when you're used to praying with a siddur that has built-in halachot, you're not sharp enough with the halachot, but it's okay. Let's learn it together, Be'ezrat Hashem. In my recollection, it depends if you are obligated to eat bread on that meal or not. When you have an obligation to eat bread, then if you missed it, you have to repeat. When you don't, but let's see, Be'ezrat Hashem. Arvit Shel Shabbat. At least that's the halakha regarding Ratzeh V'Chalitzenu. No, here we go. בראש חודש וביום טוב, ובכל המועד אומרים לי יעלה ויבוא. ואם שכח ולא אמר בראש חודש, אם אמר ברוך אתה השם אפילו שם ירושלים, לא ישם מלך וקרא לסם. So he's saying all the stops that you can, but let's go to the bottom. If he finished,
I say no, he doesn't have to.
No, you have to repeat. You have to repeat, יעלה ויבוא. If you missed יעלה ויבוא, you are obligated to repeat the Birkat Hamazon. That's the halakha over here. The Rosh Chodesh and on Yom Tov, he says. Right? Regarding Ratzeh V'Chalitzenu, it's as I told you, that in Suda Rishona and Shniya, since I'm obligated to eat bread, if I missed Ratzeh V'Chalitzenu, I have to repeat. But Suda Shlishit, since some opinions say that I don't have to eat bread, but even if I forgot it, I'll be exempt. But in Birkat Hamazon, if I missed it, I should repeat it. Chazak u'baruch, okay. Thank you for refreshing our memory. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this siddur, but it's called Od Yosef Chai. It's like we call it the Mercedes here because it has everything in it. It's a huge siddur, but any question that you have in the middle of the tefillah, you forgot you did see that, it's all set over there. Baruch Hashem. But this is good. It's giving an opportunity to go back on halachot. Halachot is never enough. You always have to repeat and learn and remind yourself. So I'm going to take that as homework for me. Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay. Anybody else had a question? Now, Mashiv Ruach U'Morid HaGeshem. This is something that recently. Wait, you didn't start saying V'tel Tanu Mata, right? You only started in December 4th, 5th, something like that. Okay, we're already saying it here. But before that, just Mashiv Ruach U'Morid HaGeshem that you did start like all of us in Simchat Torah. So, what's the halakha if I don't know if I said Mashiv Ruach U'Morid HaGeshem? Anybody know?
I think if you're supposed to say Morid Hatan, you said Mashiv Ruach Morid HaGeshem, maybe you have to go back. But if it's the other way around, if you said Morid Hatan when you had to say Mashiv Ruach Morid HaGeshem, then you don't repeat that because you always need Tal.
Very good.
But I don't know the first part for sure.
Fantastic. I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to right now, we are in winter time. We are supposed to say Mashiv Ruach Morid HaGeshem. And if we said Morid Hatal, then that will not be sufficient, and we will have to, not Morid Hatal, V'ten Talu Mata, okay? But within 30 days, if let's say it's the other way around, it's going to be like you said. It's summer, I'm not allowed to say Mashiv Ruach Morid HaGeshem in the summer. So if I said that, I have to repeat, I have to fix it, right? But what happens if I don't remember? Did I not say? My tongue, is it used to it yet? We just started. This is the point that I wanted to bring up. Halakha says that within the first 30 days that the tefillah changed, you have to assume that you made a mistake. Unless you remember otherwise, we assume that you made a mistake. It's 30 days. And then once you discovered you made a mistake, as Nick said, depending on where it is. If in the winter I actually said Morid Hatal, no problem. Anyway, there's Tal. But if in the summer I said Mashiv Ruach Morid HaGeshem, it's a problem, then I'll have to repeat. But is it really 30 days? Or is it just 90 tefillot? Or is it enough that I know of myself that I'm actually remembering very well, even though 30 days didn't pass? I gave all those examples because, oh, time's up. Okay, let's finish with this halakha. Because all those examples are brought in the halakha. Let's just finish this halakha. That within 30 days, if you don't remember, you have to repeat if the halakha requires you to repeat. But if you know yourself that even if 30 days didn't pass, I'm focused. I must have said it. You're allowed to trust on yourself. It's better that if you do that, you do a tefillat Nedava. You say, Hashem, this is a gift to you in case I made a mistake. All right? And therefore on Shabbat, you wouldn't do that because there's no Nedava on Shabbat. All right? So if you know of yourself, Rabbi Ovadia, his sons say that whenever the times would change, he would stop his learning, he would come to them and he would say 90 times in a row with them. Why? Because in 30 days you have 90 tefillot. The idea is that once you say it 90 times in a row, it's going to be engraved in your mind, and that's a good way to remember. But either way, either if you trust yourself, if you did the 90 trick time, or if 30 days passed and you don't remember what you said, you can assume that you were good. Otherwise, you will have to fix it. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
See you next.
Thank you.